Hi there. Glad you joined me today on my website, looking over some of the interesting things I hope you'll find that I posted, including my new column. Two comments today. First of all, I watched the Robert Mueller hearings this week, and whatever your conclusions are, and he went very little beyond the report that was issued some time back that got so much publicity. Guy looked like a tired old man who had retired and maybe had early onset of memory loss. And he just, if the Democrats thought they were going to gain something by having Mueller come to testify, I thought they made a huge mistake. Perception was that he just wasn't in touch. Asked some fairly easy questions about the report, and he wasn't even sure what was in part of that report. Had to refer to footnotes. And I know it was long and involved, and there was 40 questionnaires and just him, but he just wasn't prepared very well. And I think the guy's just out of touch. I'm not a Mueller fan. If you live down in Louisiana, he'd made some decisions down here involving a LSU professor I've written about on my website that I thought were completely inappropriate and something that he should apologize for. But whatever said, he didn't say much at the hearing, and what he did say came across as just someone who really wasn't that engaged. It's just my impression, to pass it on for those of you who didn't watch the whole scenario that went on in Washington. Let me talk about the column this week. I didn't get serious, wrote a little lighter column. I was up in Maine here last weekend. My two oldest grandsons go to camp up in Maine, and I went up for Visitors Day. My daughter was there with her husband on Friday, and I went up on Saturday to have a great day with my grandsons. We took in all the camp events and kicked the soccer ball around. I watched them play tennis, and I beat them at ping pong, and then they beat me at ping pong. Then we kind of slipped off the camp and went to Tubby's Ice Cream Parlor. You can find a picture of us all on the website here, and just had a delightful day with my grandsons. Enjoyed Maine, stayed at a very nice place overlooking the Atlantic Ocean down in Portland, about a 2-hour drive, long drive. And if I go next year, I'm going to stay up closer to Augusta, where the camp is located. But I look forward to Maine seafood. I love seafood. And of course, if you live down in Louisiana, it's the best seafood you can find in the country and almost anywhere in the world. So we're a little spoiled by the seafood, but they've got good seafood, good quality in Maine. Everything from the sole to obviously the lobster, succulent lobster meat, clams, a number of different varieties of clams. The big disappointment was they didn't know how to season their seafood. Now, I understand with lobster, you put it in a little butter sauce, and that's about all you need to do. But in terms of so much of the fish, you got to spice it up a little bit. We're down here with the holy trinity that we have of spices that I think Paul Prudhomme put together. You got to have onions, you got to have celery, you got to have bell pepper, and so many other seasonings and condiments that make the flavor and bring it out so well. And of course, at the top of the list is hot sauce, Tabasco sauce to be specific. And I wrote about my experiences over Tabasco. You'll find it amusing. And I was in a real pickle, as you'll see if you read the column. One thing I did not write, I'll share with you. We have a family summer home up in the North Carolina. I say summer, we go up there in the winter too, in the mountains in North Carolina, Blue Ridge Mountains, about an hour and a half north of Asheville, close to Boone, North Carolina, where Appalachian State University is located. So we're up there at the restaurant in the local club we belong to, right where our house is located. And I wanted some Tabasco sauce. Do you have any? Bring me some Tabasco sauce. Yes, sir. We'll bring some right back out. Well, they came out and they brought me some kind of a Texas hot sauce. Didn't have anywhere the flavor of Tabasco. And they said, well, this is what we have back in the kitchen. I asked the manager to come over, and I happen to know the guy that just retired as the head of Tabasco. His name is Tony Simmons, and he's pretty much moved up there to North Carolina around this club. His kids live in Charlotte. He just wanted to retire up that way. And so I called the manager and said, let me tell you something. There's a member of this club who was president of Tabasco, the most popular hot sauce in the world, and you're bringing me a bottle of Texas hot sauce. You're going to have some problems with that. He says, oh, I apologize. We will have Tabasco from this time on. So we got the Tabasco back, and I'm sure Tony Simmons is glad to hear that. In any event, I hope you'll read my column about my personal experience with the Tabasco company. And I love the Tabasco hot sauce, carry a little bottle around with me often when I travel, and I hope you'll take a look at it and enjoy it a little bit. Be a little more serious next week. Glad you spent some time on my website. I hope you have a good week, and I'll talk to you again next week. Take care.